Welcome to the Weather Gurus podcast update for Sunday, June 19th, 2022. Happy Father's Day for those of us in the States and other places as well, wherever you may be, past, present, and future. Happy Father's Day, as well as Happy Juneteenth weekend coming up for those of us in the United States, the holiday. Um, Blessings on that. Now, we will continue to see the lower 48 states here, the weather pattern absolutely beautiful for Father's Day around much of the country. We have high pressure dominating much of the eastern two-thirds of the United States. There is some showers in the Intermountain West and a little bit of showers heading up into the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Saskatchewan and Alberta. But outside of that, it looks absolutely fabulous. Temperatures are cool in the 60s and 70s in the northeast, all the way down the 95 corridor through North Carolina, Charlotte, Atlanta is looking absolutely beautiful, and into Florida as well. So this we're looking at nationally. We do have hazards involved in the central part of the country. Most of it has to do with the excessive heat advisory as the heat dome extends from Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, through Oklahoma City and Tulsa, through Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, Omaha, Nebraska, into the Dakotas, Pierre, South Dakota, as well as North Dakota as well, and into Minnesota, believe it or not. Temperatures are 90 to 100 degrees. Heat indices are pushing 110 degrees in these areas from Bemidji, Minnesota, down through the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, back through the Quad Cities of Iowa. And these areas are experiencing extreme heat. Now, along the Gulf Coast, there's also heat advisories. So if you're in Lake Charles, Beaumont, Alexandria, Hammond, Louisiana, New Orleans, heat advisories are down there for you, and along the Florida Gulf Coast from Tampa, St. Pete, down to Clearwater and down through Sarasota, Bradenton area. There's heat advisories, excessive heat warnings and advisories in effect. And looking at the other watches and warnings, we do have some red flag warnings, of course, in the Four Corners area from Utah, Arizona, and down through Flagstaff, Sedona, and into the Central Rim, Green Verde Valley of Arizona, and up through Moab, Utah, and over towards the Colorado border, the Continental Divide. There is red flag warning, so please be aware of that. No burning, and there's also flash flood watches in effect for New Mexico, Clovis, Truth or Consequences, down through El Paso, Texas, and on up and through the Intermountain West of Colorado, just to the west of the Continental Divide, out through west of Boulder and Golden, Colorado, more like Grand Junction, Colorado. So these are the things that we have going on in terms of watches and warnings, but still, it's a beautiful day all in all for much of the country. There is no tropical cyclone activity expected according to the National Hurricane Center during the next 48 hours. So that system that was out there in the Southwest Caribbean is gone, and has disintegrated into the Central America, Honduras, and Belize coast, and it's gone. So no tropical systems are expected. Now in the Eastern Pacific, Tropical Storm Blas is out there. It has 45 miles in winds, winds of 40 knots or 45 miles an hour. And Tropical Depression Cecilia is out there with 30 miles an hour winds and a central pressure of 1,008 millibars, moving west at 8 knots, moving west at 7 knots. And Tropical Storm Blas will continue to move away from land, and it will be just a shipping interest here, and it will continue to weaken here to a depression here in the next day or so. So this is all the effects that we have here for the Eastern Pacific or the Central Pacific here as well. And all of this is going to continue to make an impact here for the hurricane forecast as well. So we're going to be very vigilant on that. Now, on the national range, we have a low pressure system that's bringing heavy rain and showers into Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. So they will get thunderstorms in that area. What's also important to note is that the Canadian province of Ontario, way up in Thunder Bay, there's a chance for tornado risk up there in Canada that's very significant. There's a lot of instability. It's well north there as they're dragged into that warm sector, very north up there, way up in Ontario and Thunder Bay and Sudbury. So be very careful if you're in those areas along the Trans-Canadian Highway there. There is a tornado risk there, a significant tornado risk today and tomorrow as the instability of the warm sector feeding up into that trough in that cold front that's sweeping across there from Alberta could produce tornadoes there in that area. But as well, we just have the simple garden variety showers here slipping into Florida from Orlando, Tampa, Miami. The garden variety sea breeze thunderstorms in the afternoon. And like I said, that mention of chance of thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast from Houston, Beaumont through Lake Charles and New Orleans and Jackson, Mississippi, and along Mobile and the Pensacola Bay there. Those showers will continue to make an impact. So that's what we have going on nationally as well. This has been the Weather Guru forecast for now. Please enjoy the next few days. The heat wave will continue once again for the Midwest and the upper Midwest. as we approach the summer solstice on June 21st, the longest day of the year. Summer will be officially here, so be prepared for that as well. If you're in Minneapolis, Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Scottsbluff, on through Bismarck and Pierre, Dakota, Chicago as well. The heat wave will continue as the high slips across the world to the east, and it's going to stay sultry. Like I said, on Monday and Tuesday, the heat dome all the way in the center of the country, as it kind of forms an omega block, kind of like in the middle of the country, this high pressure here. And then intense heat returns again on Tuesday for Minneapolis, Chicago, Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., Richmond, on into the interior Appalachia as well. So we have to be lookout for that as well. But this has been the Weather Guru for your national weather forecast for today, June 19th and June 20th. Be safe. Enjoy your holiday weekend. I'll see you in the next episode.